You could be observing something that isn't something that you want. And as you're observing it, you're taking it in, you're having conversations about it, and in doing so, you're holding your vibration in an even more specific place. Because the more attention you give to anything, the more specifically focused you are, and the more specifically focused you are, the faster the energy moves and the faster the manifestation becomes. So you could be looking at this thing, and let's call it, for sake of this analogy, something unwanted, and this is the point we want to make with you. Without even realizing it, your observation of your current financial condition or your physical condition or your relationship condition or whatever it is that you're focusing upon, your attention to it is causing a vibrational response in you which equals your point of attraction. Now, your point of attraction isn't something that's going to happen tomorrow or the next day or the next day. Your point of attraction is something that's manifesting now. So much so that this thought and this conversation that you've got going on is going to cause the next people who walk into your experience to reflect back to you precisely what it is you've got going on. Pay attention to that. Pay attention to how close on the heels of what you're feeling, especially if you're feeling it strongly, the manifestation follows. And then the real fun is to recognize, either because the feeling didn't feel good or because the manifestation doesn't feel good. Maybe somebody says something to you that you didn't like, that you didn't think they should have said, that you didn't really believe you had coming, and that most of all you don't ever want to hear it again, but you're hearing it, it's happening. And why is it happening? Is it happening because reality has descended on you? Or is it happening in response to a vibrational stance that you've been practicing that you maybe didn't even know you were practicing until it manifested? But here it is. Reality happens. We've seen the bumper stickers. We like this one better. Reality happens. So then you say, we want you to say, oh, but I get this stuff. I know that I'm the creator of my own experience. I'm not a regurgitator. I observed that, and I had a regurgitating knee-jerk response to it, which I kept practicing because it was really absurd and obscene what happened. And so I told everybody that I saw for a while, do you know what that guy said? Do you know what he said? Do you know what he said? Do you know what he did? Do you know how he made me feel? So you keep it going for a little while, but in all of that, launching, clarifying, vortexing, creating, doing the vibrational precursoring, it's not a word, but write it down anyway, to what future manifestations can be depending upon what you do vibrationally. In other words, you've launched the rockets, the potential is there for the new and improved experience. The question is, are you going to keep regurgitating what is, because after all, that guy was really out of line? Or are you going to take the bounce and practice, and here are the operative words, practice the less easy vibration, because that's the easy vibration. You just observed it. All of your physical senses told you it was reality, and if you gathered together with others and went on some of those talk shows, most of the people would agree with you that that person was a misbehaving person and that you are right. But we are wanting to say to you, it doesn't matter how right you are in your negative emotion or in your pushing against, you are depriving yourself of the creation that has been born out of it, and you can't feel good until you come along with the new creation, because you got to keep up with you. You got to keep up with you. So that's what the art of allowing that we've been talking about for all of these years really is. It's about understanding that life is going to cause you to expand and that you have options of going along with it or not. And mostly, we love you very much, mostly, you want manifestations to improve so that you can have a good feeling response to them. And we got to give it to you. When you're looking at good feeling manifestations, you do feel pretty good, but it's not deliberate creation. It's not the work. That's regurgitating. It doesn't matter how many good things you observe and regurgitate, you have had all kinds of things that you've put in your vortex that you don't claim under those conditions. You claim them under the condition, and this is really the mindset, this is the theory, this is the conceptual that we want you to acknowledge exists before you work your way into it. I have the ability to vibrationally align and practice and become all that life has caused me to desire. And when I do, in the process of becoming it, I'll feel better and better. In the process of doing it, I'll begin to feel energy flow. In the process of becoming it, I will feel the passion that I came to this life to live. And then, and we are not wanting to water this down one little tiny bit, and then manifestation will validate my newfound vibrational alignment. Validate. So we want to talk in terms of the validation of manifestation. We've been saying to you for a long while that there are two ways that you can tell what you're doing vibrationally. One is by the way you feel, and the other is by what's manifesting. Good to know. But we want you to understand that if what's manifesting is tricky or treacherous or uncomfortable, and you don't know what you know about alignment, then you might give in to letting reality train your vibration. That's what a lot of people do. In fact, most people let what is, you've heard us say if you've been listening to us for a while, that most people offer most of their vibration in response to what they are observing. So we're just wanting to call your attention to this vortex that you can also observe. We just want your desire to observe your vortex to be heightened enough that you begin to do the real creative work, because deliberate creation is achieving alignment with who you really are and then letting manifestation validate where you are. And it's so much fun. When you deliberately shift the way you feel, even though circumstances don't really give you a reason to, but you do it anyway. And why would you do it? Because you're supposed to feel good. Why else would you do it? Because you're supposed to feel good. Why else would you do it? Because you're supposed to feel good. Why else would you do it? Because you're supposed to feel good. Why else would you do it? Because you're supposed to feel good. Why else would you do it? Because you're supposed to feel good. Really the only reason. Well, there is another reason. Because who you really are has already done it, and if you don't do it, you won't feel good. But you're supposed to feel good. 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 You are supposed to feel good no matter what. Now, there are many people that say, that's just stupid. How could anybody feel good under those conditions? And we say, because you're supposed to feel good. You're supposed to feel good because you are the creator of the conditions, you see. And when you get it that you're supposed to feel good and you find alignment and you do feel good, and then you watch manifestation mimic the goodness that you feel, now you have control of manifestations. And isn't that what deliberate creation is? So when we say to you, don't try to control the uncontrollable, what we mean by that is, don't try to manipulate the manifestations. Instead, do the vortex work. And here is the phrase that we want you to remember forever. Let your vortex affect the manifestation. Let the energy that creates worlds create your world, you see. You sort of getting the hang of this? We really enjoy visiting with you and watching you as you are moving through the details of your life experience, because there are so many things that you think about that don't serve you and that don't cause you any real discomfort immediately, because you have, we love you very much, become accustomed to, we love you so much, enduring ridiculous things. You get ornery about things, and because it doesn't kill you in the moment, you let the orneriness persevere. You have principles that you carry around that don't serve you, have never served you, aren't serving you, and will never serve you, but because they're not killing you, you carry them on and you teach them to your children. And then you put them in detention when they don't agree with you about your principles. You have, we love you very much, become those who endure negative emotion to a certain degree. In other words, you all have your thresholds. You all have your endurance levels, sort of depending upon what you've bumped up against. You are not nearly, we love you very much, as picky as we would like you to be about feeling good all of the time. Because you got to understand, we feel good all the time because we want to. And we don't see any reason why not to, since that's the part of the agreement that we are involved in. We hold vibrational maintenance with the furthest request that mankind or you individually have come to. We hold the vision that life has caused you to give birth to. And we hold it so powerfully that there is never a time that you don't have access to it. If you care about the rendezvous more than you do about justifying or rationalizing or being right. Are you following what we're getting at? Now, most of you are in a situation where what you are witnessing is aggravating, annoying. You can put yourself into a state of fear if you try real hard, but mostly you don't. And so you may have heard us say, you don't really do the work because it's not painful enough to you not to. This isn't the basis of teaching that we were wanting to give to you. In other words, it is not our desire that you wait until things are unbearable before you begin doing the work. But the reason that we're talking to you as we are in this way is because we know, we can feel who you are, coming from all over the place. There are 63 countries playing with us here today. Nice to feel you all out there. Every state, all 50 states are listening in. And what we are wanting you to realize as we are all playing together in this vibrational environment is that the larger part of you always reigns supreme. And anytime you are reaching for alignment with it, your life will be fuller and better in this moment, in this moment, in this moment, in this moment. And that's really what deliberate creation is. It's keeping up with who you are, or at least making an effort to keep up with who you are. And the more you do that, the more joyful your life will be. And the less freaked out you will be about exploring in the realms of the unwanted, because you came as physical creators and as physical manifestors, deliberately intending to sift through the data to give birth to desires. If you find yourself, and Jerry and Esther have heard themselves saying this a little bit in the last months. Now what? Now what? In other words, now what? What is life going to solicit from us now? Now what? Now what? Because dreams that we've held for a very long time are now manifested. Now what? Now what? Now what? What deeper, richer, more meaningful desires can be born? What desires can hatch to which we can find alignment that will cause a manifestation that will be over the moon thrilling, you see? And that's the thing that we want you to realize is available to you all day, every day. You are expansive, deliberate, genius creators. But we can only apply the deliberate word when and if, when and if, when and if, when. We can only apply the deliberate word when you care how you feel as much as we care how we feel. Occasionally over the years, Esther has said, Abraham, I'm not in a good place, and I now understand that this negative emotion that I'm feeling means that I have caused a vibrational resistance, separation's too strong a word, between where you are and where I am. So if you were any kind of a friend or inner being or angel or God force, if you were half what you are cracked up to be, you would come over here where I am and hold my hand until I feel better. And we say, you're kidding, right? You want us to leave the vortex so that we can help you back in? How could that possibly work? Your only chance of feeling good is to know that we're here and feel for us. That's what your emotions are. Your emotions are your indicator of your success or lack of success, of aligning with who you really are or not. Are you getting this? So you cause the expansion of the source within you, and then the source within you holds steady the vibration, holding bright the light, holding bright the signal, holding bright the feeling, knowing the well-being that you've added and added and added and added so that you can feel your way into alignment because That's what rings your bells.